Hello! Welcome back to Casey's Book Corner, your one-stop shop for book reviews, book lists and book recommendations. I'm Kirsten and today we're going to be doing a review on the duology Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree. So let's get cosy, get comfy, pull up a chair, get a little drinky and let's get on with the show. Well, now that we're all settled, let's get started. Now, I really wanted to review both of these books together. They are technically standalone, but I really feel like they're just paired so brilliantly together that I would find it really difficult to talk about one and not the other. It makes it a lot easier to just chat about them both as we go. Now, I listened to these on audiobook and they were actually narrated by Travis Baldree himself, which added a really amazing element to the narration. Nobody knows these characters and their little quirks better than the author does. It was just a really brilliant way of reading these books, and I would highly recommend to give them a listen if you plan on reading them. Now, if you have watched any of my previous reviews, you will know that I'm not a general lover of fantasy. I find it a little intimidating. I really enjoy a book that has a fast pace, so the world building can sometimes be a little too slow for me. This duology is kind of perfect for that because they're what's classed as cozy fantasy, so they still have the fantasy elements, the magic and the creatures, but they're not quite so battle or epic quest based. They're more kind of day-to-day fantasies, which I actually felt was a great little eye-opener into the world. These were actually the first lot of fantasy books that I read this year. So on to the duology. Now, Legends and Lattes was actually published first. However, Bookshops and Bonedust takes place chronologically before, quite a few years before, the events in Legends and Lattes. That being said, I probably would recommend reading them in published order rather than chronological. Now, the epilogue to Bookshops and Bonedust does give away some of the little bits and bobs that happen in Legends and Lattes, so you probably want to do it in the backwards way from what you would think. I also have a teeny tiny recommendation to resist the urge to go straight into reading Bookshops and Bonedust right after finishing Legends and Lattes. There is a significant period of time between the events in those two books. So if you leap right from Legends and Lattes into Bookshops and Bonedust, you may not quite have left any of those emotions behind when you go in. That's what happened to me. It took me a little while to sort of get my head round who knows each other, who doesn't know each other, who exists in which world and timeline and stuff. So definitely maybe give yourself a little bit of a break between the two. Anyway, so both of these books follow Viv, who is our main character. She's an orc. Now, bearing in mind, when I read these books, I didn't really know what an orc was. So in my mind, I was thinking Shrek, but more of a mercenary type person. So I was thinking if Shrek and John Wick had a baby, it would probably be an orc. And I actually don't think I'm too far off base with that. So in Legends and Lattes, Viv has retired from the orc life. She's not in the mercenary game anymore. She just wants to live a good, solid, wholesome life, setting up a little coffee shop in a world where hardly anyone knows what coffee is. And let me tell you, the descriptions of coffee in this book, you can almost smell them. It's so good. But anyway, Viv is trying to set up her coffee shop. She's going on a little bit of a journey to do that. She's building relationships, making friends, really putting down roots. It's really wholesome. And then the additional side characters that come in really just enhance Viv's journey. And this is exactly what side characters are supposed to do. So you have a succubus who just wants people to love her for who she is. You have a little ratkin who is a superstar baker. And then you have Viv herself. She's an orc. She is big, she is intimidating, she is used to being judged on her appearance, and she's trying to learn how to love herself. And it's just so adorable. And that's what this book's about. It's about learning your own self-worth and loving yourself and being comfortable with who you are in your own skin. Really, really good, wholesome, cozy story. There is a slight thread of romance through the book. Certainly no spice. This is wholesome content, remember? But it is a really, really nice, cute romance story that really had me invested. I was screaming to just kiss each other and get on with it multiple times while I was reading this book. It was nuts and it was so cute. I really loved it. Moving on to Bookshops and Bonedust. So we're back in time now and we're in Viv's mercenary life. She has an injury and she has to rest up and recuperate. Something that she's not particularly keen on doing. But she has no choice. So she's in this cosy, cute little town while she rests and recuperates, and she stumbles across a cosy, cute and adorable bookshop. From there, she meets Fern, who is one of the best characters I have ever known. Absolutely hilarious. Loved the dialogue. So savvy and sassy and loyal. Great friend, great character. And her pet, Pot Roast, who is a griffet. Now, I'm not entirely sure what a griffet actually is, but I believe it's like a pug with feathers. Anyway, Pot Roast doesn't speak, but Pot Roast does not have to speak to be sassy and bitchy and just click, click, get on with it. Hilarious, amazing, cute little character. This book has a little bit more of a quest to it. There's a little bit more adventure, still very, very cozy, but there is a little bit more of a storyline woven through. And as part of that storyline, we're introduced to a character called Satchel, who is another brilliant side character. Satchel is a skeleton. I will give you no more clues other than that because you have to read it to find out. However, if you've ever watched Toy Story, when all the toys fall to the floor when people come around, imagine that, but with a skeleton. It's brilliant, really well done, totally light-hearted and fun. I connected with Bookshops and Bonedust so much. I mean, I connected with the first one too. I love a coffee and a pastry and all that good stuff. But this one is about the joy of reading. So as Viv is going through her journey of finding out what she likes and what she doesn't like and finding a love of books, I was like, I've been there really recently. I'm still going through that now. And I just connected so brilliantly with Viv as a character. I actually felt sometimes that it had almost been written for me. And that is a brilliant, brilliant thing for an author to achieve. Now, I rated both of these books 4 stars. I love how they made me feel. And while, yes, there could have been a little tiny bit of padding on some of the side characters to get a little bit more into what they're all about, but that's not what it's about. It's about how it makes you feel. And they are such good books. So if you're new to fantasy or high fantasy and feeling a little bit intimidated by Tolkien or the Game of Thrones kind of fantasy epic adventure sort of stuff, this would be a great introduction. It was a really great introduction for me. And I also think even if you are a high fantasy aficionado, these books would be a great palate cleanser between your epic adventures. Really good, really strong, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. If you've read these books, let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy them the same that I did? Did you have any other thoughts or feelings about them? And let me know as well any other really great beginner fantasy books. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that your time is valuable, and the fact that you're taking time to watch my video really does mean the world. And every like, comment and subscribe just genuinely makes me do a little happy dance. I will be back in a couple of days as always. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Happy reading. Cheerio.